Everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm joined by Matt, a co-founder in the Cremation coin. Matt, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course.
Nice.
I appreciate you coming on here today. I know we got some exciting news, some exciting questions. All right, Matt, well, let's get into it. Can you tell us about Cremation Coin? What is your project?
Well, Cremation coin is a coin. It's a Binance Smart Chain coin, and the purpose of this is to burn LUNC. It was created just for that purpose, to burn LUNC, and that's what we do. We do weekly burns. We collect a transaction tax on all the transaction volume, and we use a portion of that to burn Luna Classic.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have definitely been going in with some massive Terra Luna Classic burns, especially compared to a lot of other projects out there. They're burning maybe 1, 2, 3 million on the higher ends. You guys are coming out with double-digit tens of millions burned. It's just some absolutely insane burns. And we'll circle back to that a little bit later on here. But I'm curious, as people look into your project, they probably are asking themselves, why should I get into this project? Why should I trust this project? Why should people trust why should people trust you guys?
Well, it's a good question. Crypto has so many scams. It's unbelievable. But if you look at our website, everything is laid out. We have charts describing how much we've burned. All of our taxes are laid out. Everything is just neat and simple. And we show transactional proof for every burn that we do. There's no hiding. There's no giving people the runaround for anything. We also, if you're in our Twitter, our Telegram, you know that we do a lot of giveaways. We follow through with everything that we say we're going to do. So that's...
Yeah, I think that's definitely a high point. Something that you mentioned there on the website, the transparency that you guys have. It's something that really made me want to work with you guys originally when we first started working together, first started talking about working together. When I saw that you guys posted all the transaction information, very clear for anybody to go through, look, it was really nice to see. Because other projects, when I look into it, you know, they'll do Twitter posts like you guys do too, where they'll do a Twitter post, they'll put the transaction link, stuff like that. But then you know, you're 4 months down the line, you're wondering, what was that burn amount? Where's the transaction info? It's really just kind of a pain to find. Whereas you guys make sure it's super easy for people to go ahead and find your burn transactions. People can go verify it super easily. So it definitely helps add a lot of value in my mind, from my perspective, when I wanted to work with you guys, being able to see that transparency. That's definitely something I personally appreciate.
Now, as far as experience, my background is more in areas that don't pertain to crypto. I have a background in nursing, and I have a background in, we'll say, the realm of law enforcement. And that also, it ties into why the team should be trusted. In my everyday day job, I have access to a lot of information. I have access to people's social security numbers, full addresses, things like that, really sensitive information that, you know, if I wanted to, I could exploit that, but it's just not who we are. It's just not who we are as a team. And yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So in your common workplace, then your everyday workplace, you're trusted with sensitive information, which is definitely something that goes to show your character, how people perceive you. And I think that's definitely something great for your team. Could you maybe explain why your Terra Luna Classic burns are so unique, so special?
Well, the reason they are special, I think, is because of the consistency with which we do them. We are committed to burning LUNC every single week. It's not just a sporadic burn that we do for marketing purposes, anything like that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
So
we'll continue to do. So.
yeah, that's definitely great that you guys are going to continue doing that. And like you said, the consistency of it. And I'm sure people are wondering, how are you able to do these weekly burns? What enables you guys to actually consistently burn Terra Luna Classic, whereas others maybe do a once a month or every other month as just a simple marketing push?
Well, we collect a tax on every transaction. All the transaction volume is taxed. And actually, I will say we recently lowered the tax from 12 to 8. We were getting some complaints about the high tax, so we lowered it. And that just also goes to show that we listen to our community. We take all suggestions seriously. But a portion of that tax goes toward burning Luna Classic, and also a portion of it also actually goes toward burning Cremation coin, which was another thing that the community wanted, was to make us deflationary. So that's what we did.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's great that you guys took the community feedback, listened to the community, and actually decreased the tax rate based on the community's request. Because a lot of other projects, they'll tend to get a little bit set in their ways. They'll go, this is what we like to do, this is what we want to do. And because of that, they won't listen to feedback, which inevitably cause trouble for their project. Whereas you guys are actually willing to listen to the feedback, even if it reduces the weekly burn for the first little bit. I believe personally in the long term, by actually listening to the community and doing what they want, in the long term, you'll actually have higher burns. And so, the lower tax is probably a good trade-off to, make your community happy and do what they're wanting for sure. So that's definitely a good thing, a good sign that you guys are doing that. Now, when we talk about these Terra Luna Classic burns, I know you guys just did a burn a little while ago, I believe less than an hour ago here. Would you
Right.
like to talk about how much you just burned and then how much you've burned total overall in the past couple months where you guys have been actually burning Terra Luna Classic on a weekly basis?
Sure. Well, this week, just about an hour ago or so, we burned just over 18 million Luna Classic, um, which is pretty good. We had a very low volume week, so we could definitely do better.
Yeah, if you guys got enough volume based on the tax, since your tax is based on the volume numbers, as more volume comes in, more burns happen. And so, yeah, definitely could see some massive increases there. And it's pretty crazy that you guys have gone ahead and so far burned pretty close to that 300 million total Trino Classic. I know a couple of weeks ago, you guys had high volume weeks. You were getting really high, well over 50 million Trino Classic burn weekly. I believe one was about 75 million, another was about 100 million Trino Classic. So massive Trino Classic burns. Again, especially when we're comparing this to projects that are maybe burning 1, 2, 3 million here or there sporadically. You guys are consistently, in a quote unquote not so great week with not so great volume, you're still doing 18 million Terra Classic burn, which is insane. I know I was doing the numbers the other week. I think you saw that Twitter post where I was looking at when we subtract out the Binance burns and the on-chain tax out of everyone else who's sending manual burns to the burn wallet, you guys were 90%. I believe it was roughly 90% of the burns that month, which was absolutely insane that you guys did 90% of the burns total combined. When we add up everyone's burns that sends to the burn wallets, you guys were 90%.
Yeah, we're really proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys at 90%,
But
that's
it's really
killer.
good.
One thing I want to ask you as well, when we talk about why is this happening, I want to talk about that a little bit here. Why are you guys burning so much Terminal Classic? What made you want to commit to doing this weekly Terminal Classic burn? Where, out of all honesty, at the end of the day, you're giving away essentially thousands of dollars to the Terminal Classic community through these burns. This could be money that goes into your pockets, which other projects do. They'll pocket the money essentially, whereas you guys are giving away thousands of dollars back to the Terminal Classic community through these burns. Why did you guys decide to commit to that?
Well, we decided to commit to it because we saw the devastation that was caused by the UST DPEG, and it's just crazy. It's incredible. Just imagine having your whole life savings gone in a day or two, and then nobody even wants to help you. So we're here, we're doing our small part to try to help. And it also goes back to a little bit of my profession. I've spent my whole professional life putting other people's needs ahead of my own. So it's just, this is no different. So
Yeah, I think that's definitely a very unique and great perspective. I know I had a couple friends of mine who were involved in the Great Crash. Luckily for me personally, I didn't lose really any money in that. But I had some friends who lost tens of thousands of dollars, and it was just catastrophic seeing how fast everything happened, how much money people lost. It was just devastating. So yeah,
yeah,
it's great to have people like you and myself here in this community actually supporting the objective to try and revive this ecosystem and bring back some value to these people who lost money, and try and show people that even though we had a catastrophic event through the crash, we're able to actually come back and revive an ecosystem. And I think that's great that we're helping support these burns, move forward with actually reducing our supply and adding value back to the ecosystem for sure.
sure. Well, that's our goal.
Yeah, definitely. Well, when we talk about the future value that the cremation coin or cremation ecosystem, I guess, potentially, what is the potential for cremation in the future? Either whether it's, I know you guys, I believe, mentioned NFT projects, stores, some of these different things. What does that value look like in the future for cremation coin to contribute even more to the Channel Classic mission?
Well, everything we do is aimed at burning more Luna Classic. So you mentioned a store. That's something that's definitely in the works, and we're kind of developing those ideas right now. Definitely a portion of whatever profit we have is going to go toward burning Luna Classic. Uh, Also, you mentioned an NFT project, which is sort of under development, I would say. Um, we have a few different ideas of directions we could go with that. If you've seen our Twitter, you might know what I'm talking about. Um,
Yep, I
um,
think I saw some of those photos, and that was pretty funny stuff.
yeah, that's the goal too, is to just have fun. And the NFT project also, of course, will go toward burning LUNC, and that's what the goal is. We have some other ideas for benefits for the NFT project, but stay tuned for those.
Gotcha. In the works to be noted soon. Sounds
Yes.
good. That's some exciting stuff. Now, I know today you had an announcement that you wanted to make around the cremation coin or cremation ecosystem kind of concept here. Would you like to start us off and just give a quick intro to what's coming up that people should be, in my opinion, that I'm personally pretty excited to see?
Yeah, we're really excited about this. We're going to launch an Ethereum coin. I know we've sort of hinted around that on Twitter and Telegram, um, but it's official. We're working with our developers to create that and get it launched here pretty soon. Actually, we have tentative dates here that I think we're going to start a fair launch on April 10th and maybe launch on April 17th. We'll make official announcements on those dates, but that's what we're aiming for here.
Okay, so
We're,
dates subject to change, but coming up pretty soon, basically.
yes, very, very soon. We're excited to get this going.
Yeah, that's coming around the corner for sure. That's awesome. Now, I'm sure people are wondering right off the bat, you guys have a coin right now on the Binance Smart Chain. Why are you launching an Ethereum token?
Okay, first of all, there's a lot more people on the Ethereum network than the Binance network, and also it'll give us a chance to do a little better maybe than we did with the Binance coin. Like I said, it's our first crypto project. We did some things that in hindsight weren't the greatest. Having this Ethereum coin is going to give us a chance to correct some of those issues.
Gotcha. That sounds good for sure. Yeah, there's definitely a larger, from my personal experience, it seems like there's a larger market on the Ethereum network for sure compared to Binance. And that means more potential, obviously, more potential for your ecosystem and for you to support more Terra Luna Classic burns, which is great to hear. We could be burning even more Terra Luna Classic by a dramatic amount. So that's something that has a lot of potential for sure. Now, I'm sure people are wondering, as you're saying that, are you guys going to be abandoning this Binance Smart Chain project essentially, or are you going to run both at the same time?
We're going to run both at the same time.
Would it be fair then to say that it basically comes down to whether people prefer to use the Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum network, and that's kind of the coin that they could buy? Since you mentioned that the taxes are going to be the same, it sounds like other things about the coins are going to be very identical. So is it fair to say that it's pretty much depending on which network people prefer, then they could pick accordingly?
Sure, they could pick accordingly. The Binance one will benefit people who don't want to pay the high gas fees. The Ethereum coin will be different from the Binance one in the sense that we're going to have tokens unlocked right from the start that'll allow us to get on exchanges, which is a request that we've had a lot, and we haven't been able to fulfill that because we locked our tokens for 2 years. So the Ethereum version won't have that, so we'll be able to get on exchanges right away, which should really grow the value of the coin.
So it's both fees and essentially you need liquidity or tokens for liquidity on these different exchanges, which is not necessarily as accessible of an option on the Binance Smart Chain one, but through the Ethereum one, you're going to make some slight changes to that. That way it'll be accessible pretty much off the get-go, and you'll have more opportunities to get listed in more places.
Correct. Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. That sounds good. Now, earlier you mentioned something about an Ethereum fair launch. Would you mind elaborating on what is an Ethereum fair launch or a fair launch in general for people who maybe are not familiar, and maybe some of the benefits that come to people in a fair launch?
Well, a fair launch, we're going to do it on Pink Sale. And the benefit of a fair launch is that it's available to everyone, anyone who wants to buy it.
Gotcha. So it's a little bit more accessible basically for people.
Sure. Yes.
Gotcha. That's definitely something that I'm sure some people in the community will like, as we've seen some things in the past where maybe they have private sale rounds that are just not accessible by people. It sounds like this will be accessible by pretty much anyone. Is that correct? Who wants to get in?
Yeah, certainly. Anyone with an Ethereum wallet can.
Gotcha. That's nice to hear. So it's not going to be gated. That's good. Well, thank you, Matthew, for joining us here today. I definitely appreciate you coming in and talking to us. If anybody is wanting to look into your project, where should they go for the best place for information? Should they check out your website? Should they check out your Twitter account? Where is the best place to get information about your project and the amazing Terra Luna Classic burns that you guys are doing?
Well, the best place is always Twitter. You're going to have the most up to date information. I tweet a lot. I try to stay up to date on that. But also the website just has such a wealth of information about the project. All of our burn charts are on there. Everything else you need to know, our token contract, address, our links to PancakeSwap, everything you need is on the website.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. And I look forward to hearing more information about the Ethereum Fair launch that is coming up very soon. It's exciting to see, and hopefully we can burn a ton of Terra Luna Classic through that Ethereum launch. So thank you for coming today.
Hey, thanks for having me.